Demain, sinon, merci le Seigneur le temps aujourd'hui et bon voyage.
One year and few months after grafting, the oysters made layers of nacre thick enough for harvesting. The oysters are sent back to the farm to be prepared. Raimana, grafter, also from Tahiti, makes sure first that there's a pearl inside the shell. It is possible that the nucleus has been completely forced out of the sac. This is a rejection. If everything happened correctly, the nucleus is completely covered by nacre and has a round or almost round shape. It is possible to insert a new nucleus in the pearl sac. The nucleus has to be about the same size as the pearl. A good grafter must be able to repeat the process more than 400 times a day. I've heard that it took 3 to 4 months to have the good movements and be able to reach those numbers. Then it takes 3 to 4 years to become a good grafter. The fact that you have to wait a year to see the results of your work makes the learning part tricky. The techniques were developed by Japanese people. They would come here only for this process of grafting. Then, the Chinese workforce, less expenses, slowly took over. Here, the grafters are locals. It's been years since grafters are trained in this farm. I think it's a positive that locals are being employed. When COVID-19 hit, Chinese people had to go back to their country, and a lot of pearl farms stopped their production. A lot of them sank down, whereas Gambier pearls kept going and shaking. The overgrafted oysters are stored with grills or strings that we call chapli. The more horizontal the oysters are, the more chances there is that the nucleus won't move inside the pearl pouch. Therefore, the pearls have a round shape. That's why the nuts has to be as tight as possible. You need to have very strong fingers to be able to do hundreds of these nuts each day. Jaco is one of the employees which has been working with Eric for the longest time. He's been in the pearl industry for more than 30 years. Today, he carries the grafted oysters from the farm to the water for storage. No matter the weather conditions, he does his job stoically and with good humor. Most of the farms have divers for this job. Here, it's different. Innovative ways of working allow gains in productivity. He's also the one who brings the shells grafted more than a year ago for harvest. His job requires him to be one of the first in the morning, but also the very last one at the farm at the end of the day.
Oui, voilà. Je m'appelle Richard.
C'est quoi ton travail?
Le travail, c'est de stocker, sortir, faire du stockage, faire de tout quoi.
Ça fait combien tu peux expliquer vite fait comment tu es arrivé un peu dans le milieu de la ferme?
Comment je suis arrivé? Voilà. Au début, j'ai commencé la fête de Bourtia. de la société de Robert Val en 1992. Et maintenant, je suis arrêté. Ça fait 13 ans maintenant que je suis arrêté pour Eric Sichoa.
Ça va, t'aimes bien?
Ah oui, ça me plaît à mon travail. Même si c'est dur. Hein.
T'aimes bien la vie sur le moto?
Ah oui, c'est calme, aucun bruit, travail, maison, après, travail encore le demain.
C'est quoi ton poisson préféré?
Poisson, la bière, dynamo.
Poisson.
Ah, poisson, ah, pas boisson, poisson, ok, peu importe.
If the oyster is too old, the grafting process has already took place a few times. The colors and luster of the pearls are gonna be lesser. The oyster is then killed. An oyster can be grafted up to 3 to 4 times. If the nucleus is rejected, then the oyster is also killed. In case of a rejection, chances are that the mental tissue that has been inserted in a grafting process is still there. It would transform into nacre. This is how we get the keshi. We take the muscle that usually keeps the shell together. We call that the korori, and it's delicious. The rest of the animal is given to the fish. The shell is put in those black bags that we sell for handicraft. Nothing is wasted. When everyone is done with work, Eric Sr. goes home with the harvest of the day. He has to wash the pearls with soap. The pearl industry is in crisis. Lots of pearl farms have been shut down. Series of bad legislative decisions, COVID crisis, the unavailability of the Chinese grafters made it impossible for some to keep the farms afloat. The small island on which the farm is located belongs to his wife. It's her who decided to create a company known as Gambier Pearls in 2009. When he first came to the Motu, there was nothing. He used to sleep in a tent, to take showers with ocean water. Now, he has more than 10 employees that live on the Motu. After drying, there's a first sorting to take out the pearls of very low quality. The pearls are polished with those machines. It's an important step to bring out the luster of the pearls. Eric has more than 30 years of experience in this line of work. Eric makes statistics on pearls to improve the quality by studying diverse protocols. During harvesting time, it's not unusual for Eric to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to sort out the pearls before heading to the farm. Freshwater pearls are often white, lavender, or peach. A single oyster can produce dozens of those pearls. They're not always round and the quality is considered lesser. They usually come from China. Akoya pearls from Japan and China have colors always close to white. The Tahitian black pearls that comes in reality from the archipelagos of Tuamotu and Gambier are not always black. Their color is often gray or green, but you can also find easily other colors. You can find chocolate brown, aubergine purple, blue, even white. South Sea pearls refer to white silvery pearls when they come from Australia and yellow golden when they come from Indonesia or Philippines. There are 4 big groups of shapes. The most often asked is round, but there are also circled, droplets, and baroque ones, the ones that the shape cannot be easily defined. I'm not afraid to say that I like the round ones, but I think I prefer the other shapes because of their uniqueness. Luster is the way in which a mineral reflects light. The more mirror-like the pearl is, the higher the value. There is a main color, but you often see reflections with other colors. This is due to iridescence. The way that the crystals of nacre are positioned make them catch light and reflect some colors. This is especially present with the Tahitian pearls. You can also see that with lots of birds, the peacock being the most notorious example. Quality is rated with a ladder system differing in some countries. A being the best, with less than 10% of the surface being affected by imperfections. The closer you get to D, the higher the percentage of affected surface. The yearly production of combi pearls exceeds 100,000 and represent only 1% of the country's pearl production. It's still an impressive number when some farms only produce a few thousands each year.